Hi guys, what is going on? So today you will be experiencing patch day. I'm going to be putting this out on a Wednesday, which is very unusual for me. Normally I release it on a Thursday, but I think it's something I needed to be talking about, and I am recording this on Tuesday, the night before the patch. So I wanted to just talk about AFK farming. I've seen a lot of people now kind of saying that they're going to stop playing. They can't play now because they're not going to be able to keep up, because AFK farming is being taken away completely. And I just want to kind of address that, and then I want to talk about the new essences and what I feel about the new Necro essences. Let's get in and talk about, AFK farming and what I think is going to happen when it comes to the future of it. So in the patch notes then, guys, they pretty much said that they're now going to re-enable the damage for AFK farming. Now, basically what that means for people that didn't know, there used to be this pool that spawns underneath you. It's called like an acid pit, that if you're AFK for too long, it will then spawn underneath you, do damage until you then die. Now, this is exactly what they're bringing back in to reduce the amount of AFK farming that's going on, because in my personal opinion, even as a Necro main, there is far too much of it going on. All of this plus free AFK farming all night. I think that is not good for the health of the game. Yeah, I'm one that AFK farms, but I AFK farm and I class it lazy farming because I actively don't just leave the computer sitting there overnight or my phone there overnight doing its own thing. I check it. I go and salvage. I go and hand in my orbs. I do everything that you would normally do, but I just spend AFK. I'm just AFK. I'm still at my keyboard, but I'm not paying attention fully to the game. I don't think there should be full kind of you're asleep and your character's just doing what it needs to be doing, because that is not how the game was intended to be played. And I think that does ruin the enjoyment of the game. And I totally agree with, the way Blizzard are doing this and introducing it. Now, will that stop AFK farming completely? No, it's not going to stop it. As I just said, it's just going to be developed into another kind of route, what we will all take, going down the lazy farming route instead of being completely AFK. And I think that's good. Don't see this as a negative, guys. See this as a positive, because it means we have to actively play the game again, which we all enjoy, right? But that is my personal opinion, guys. I think this is going to be good for the health of the game going forward. I don't think we need to have what currently is going on over here. If we go and have a look, how many people are in Charvel this evening? This is not to call anyone out. This is just to show how bad this can be, right? There's people that do this not just in Charvel, not just on this one set of a tile as well, because there's multiple of these tiles. You can load in and be on a fresh tile. This is just on this one particular tile where people are AFK farming, possibly all night. So this is not to call anyone out, because this has been allowed. But this is now going to be put an end to, and I think it's going to be good going forward. I personally think this is the way it should be. AFK farming on a way it's been going forward has been getting out of control. And I think there is a lot of people out there that will agree, and there's a lot of people out there that will disagree. So if you are a disagreeer, mention it in the comments. If you are an agreeer, mention that in the comments. But guys, the more important thing that we've got to talk about, I think, is the Necro essences, right? Because I think we've kind of hit a lull again, I don't think there's going to be any meta-changing pieces in these essence lists for Necros. The helm here, skeletal mages now empower you when destroyed, increasing your damage done for a limited time, up to a maximum of we don't know yet. But the helm we use at the moment is Study Menace for our dot resolver builds. Now this may be okay for a pure summons build, but then I believe there's a helm that is going to be used for Golem, right? Now the pants here, Dark Curse now conjures a field of despair at a target location that continuously damages nearby enemies and applies a stacking slow. The slow is interesting. After several stacks, the enemy will then be feared. Okay, another fear set. But pants here, guys, Dark Curse. We've got Fulsome Feeding. If we're using Dark Curse, we're going to be using Fulsome Feeding because it makes Dark Curse up 100% of the time, continuously doing damage. There's more utility there than there is in this set of pants. It's a shame it's on the pants essence. If this had been on something else, on another piece like shoulders, maybe it would have been interesting. Now, offhand, Bone Spirits, more Bone Spirit essences, now conjures a font of Soulfire at a target location that will attack an enemy that approaches, exploding on impact to damage and fear nearby enemies. So again, another fear. This is on an offhand, so this potentially could be used with some other spirit essence pieces, so we'll have to see kind of how that works. I like how they're still trying to bring spirit essences into the game when it comes to PvP, right? I know there's one or two that work well in PvE for like farming, but there's not that many that work well in PvP. The main hand then, this one's interesting. Corpse explosion, critical hit chance is increased. Now there's a main hand called the Clot Burst, I believe it is. Or that one just increases. No, I'm pretty sure that does increase critical hit, right? I need to check. I think I've got the build on. Is it the Clot Burst? Or is that just damage and then the other piece is Clot Burst? I say this is damage. And this one must be the increase in critical hit chance. Nope, this one. Here we go, the chest piece. The Jagged. This one increases the crit hit chance as well. So I wonder if this is going to be able to stack with this. I don't think they will work together. But if they do, that could be some insane damage. Chest piece then, guys. Dark Curse also disables enemy dash skills for a limited time. So, okay, we've got our own built-in Faltered Grasp, right? Which would be very interesting to see how that works, because I'm presuming this would work with our Fulsome Feeding. Be interesting. I think that one has definitely got my interest sparked. These two here definitely could be put into some sort of build. Farm build for the Corpse Explosion, Dark Curse, PvP dot build of some sort. Shoulders then, guys. Corpse Explosion. Corpse Explosion just never works in PvP, sadly, but it no longer consumes corpses and instead consumes the fear on enemies. So enemies have to be feared already. To conjure spirits that seek out targets, damaging any they touch. The spirits prioritize seeking out feared enemies, consuming it to conjure more spirits. Okay, I can see the shoulders being used in some sort of challenge rift build, because some of them need to have control of enemies. So if they're feared, this could do a lot of damage. So these three here have some sort of niche setup potentially. The rest of them, I think, are going to be very hit and miss. So guys, my conclusion on these essences are very mediocre when it comes to what we would have expected for 1000 Paragon, right? I think we've had a very rough time as a Necromancers when it comes to the new essences over the last few patches, which brings new essences. I think next patch, guys, hopefully we'll get some good ones. I think we need to move away from the Bone Spirits and the Dark Curse now, and I think we need to go back to getting some new Grim Scythe ones and Corpse Lance ones to make the meta change. I'm calling for that to happen, because the meta when it comes to Grim Scythe, whirling blades, and then you've got the Corpse Lance bones spinning around you, and it's got very repetitive, and I think a lot of people are not enjoying it as much as they were, although it does insane damage. It needs to change. Metas need to change to make the game feel fresh, feel kind of changing and new, right? So guys, that is my opinion on the essences. I don't know whether you agree or disagree, but mention them in the comments down below. But I thought we'd just do it a little bit differently to normal. I haven't had time to do a real full video and digest all of the essences. There's a lot coming for Druid. You've got Druid, you've got an I6 set of essences coming and an I8 set of essences coming, so we're getting 12 new essences. So that's going to be interesting when I do go back over to the Druid and have a look at those, which I think we'll do after the Necro. But guys, that is all I wanted to talk about in this video today. I think there's a lot of interesting times coming up. Don't forget what's coming up this coming week is you've got the registration ready for the PvP tourney, guys. So if you're going to be doing that, good luck. I haven't got the time to be competing in it, but I do wish you all the luck. I will be keeping an eye on my server and seeing how that's going. But until the next one, guys, enjoy your week. Enjoy the patch. We'll see you in the next one.